When I was 17 years old, I received the news of my boyfriend's sudden and tragic death. He was out drinking with his friends at night and was killed by 2 robbers. I was shocked and saddened when I received the news. He was only 19 years old, just entering college, and his real life hadn't even started yet. It was the first time I had been confronted with death so close to home. It put me in a negative mood. What is the meaning of life if we die like this? There will always be a day when people die. Why go to school? Why go to work? Why do we have to get married? These questions bothered me. I asked my parents and the pastor of my church, but no one could give a convincing answer. In the face of death, life felt completely meaningless. I fell into a crippling depression. I finally asked my parents for help, and they took me to a psychiatrist. Without much discussion, the doctor prescribed me some medication, which I took for 2 weeks. My parents also went out with me often. Slowly, I regained my previous state. In this state, I finished high school early. 3 years later, tragedy struck again. My best friend from high school died in a traffic accident. In the weeks that followed, I experienced even more pain, this time plunging me into despair. My parents were also having relationship problems at the time, and they were truly ready to agree to a divorce, and I felt intensely lonely. I wrote a letter to my parents expressing my disappointment in them and my desire to sever my ties with them. I wrote the letter with tears in my eyes and left it on my desk for a night out with some friends. We decided to take some recreational drugs. We hung out late and we drank a lot of alcohol. I started vomiting and then went into unconsciousness. At a certain point, I felt like I was dead. I felt my surroundings become serene. It was like nothing I had ever experienced on Earth. I wasn't sure I was leaving my body. I appeared in a huge dark space, and after passing through it, I was able to feel light, color and sound. The light was brighter than anything we have on Earth. I felt at one with the universe and God, which was absolutely exhilarating. Everything felt complete and more real than anything on Earth, as if this was my eternal home and I was only on Earth for a little while. All questions are answered here. Every question I thought of, I could get all the answers clearly. I also see pieces of my life flash before my eyes, like a kind of living memory. I could clearly understand how meaningful it all was. One thing really surprised me. That is how much God knows me, far better than I know myself. This gave me great confidence that God had a plan for my life that was much better than I could have imagined. I also saw and felt that life is a great gift. In another moment, my friend who died in a car accident was there. I couldn't see him, but I could feel his presence. We began to communicate in this space, but not with words, but with telepathy. He was an atheist before and eventually he believed that God did exist and that life would continue after death. There was also an important moment when I was asked to make a choice. I could let my soul go through this tunnel, which meant I would actually die. Leave this earth forever, or I could stay and complete my mission on Earth. In that moment, I saw my friend sleeping on the couch, and he woke up to find me dead. I couldn't let him have such a horrible experience and I chose to stay alive. As I was making that choice, I heard a commanding voice say, "Get some water, now, and go to the bathroom." I grabbed a large bottle of water and started drinking it. Then I went to the bathroom and expelled a large amount of fluid. I realized that I hadn't urinated or drank for about 8 hours. I went back to the couch to rest. One of the other things, and I don't really like to talk about it, was that I saw a vision of a cataclysmic event on Earth, when there would be great suffering and loss. This will happen in my lifetime, but I can't see exactly when it will happen. I saw many humans die. My attention is drawn to a certain area where half of the people will die. I see the events and causes that lead to disaster, including political unrest, economic collapse, and environmental degradation. Those who survive will have their minds changed so much that it's like a golden age has arrived. There is nothing we can do to stop this. God prompts me, believe, but don't feel afraid. There is no real death. Through this experience, I have an important role to play in teaching people not to be afraid of death. This experience convinced me that there really is life after death, and that it is better than we can imagine. I don't know how long the whole experience lasted, maybe just a few seconds. The next thing I knew, I woke up from the couch, fully rejuvenated. I walked outside, it was a beautiful day, and I sat in the bushes. In just one night, I had emerged from the depths of despair. Everything looked new and so alive. After what I went through, my life has changed radically. I have come to trust God completely. Live each day now. I did not send that letter to my parents, instead, I eased the conflict with my family. I have also gained a greater sensitivity and intuition, which is stronger when I help others. One day, on an impulse, I prayed to God to help me forget my experiences so that I could integrate more normally into my life. A few months after that, negativity and doubt came to my mind. This caused me great pain and I immediately regretted what I was asking for. I knew that this negativity was not the meaning of my existence, it was just part of the illusion. It didn't take long for me to fall into depression. I prayed every day for God to take me home, but received no feedback. I felt abandoned again. I knew I couldn't kill myself. So I endured. For the next 3 years, I continued to study and adjust my mind. Then I became a teacher, an advocate for social and environmental change. My life became so rich. More importantly, I learned the joy of helping others and I was fulfilling the mission God gave me to help people release their fear of death. I share my experience with many people and hope to offer them some help. Death is just a doorway to a better life. There is nothing to be afraid of.